Welcome everybody. Today we're going to look at slope point form, which is the lesson 4 of our equations of linear relations unit. Okay, last class we've looked at the general form, and the one class before that we looked at the y-intercept form. And so again today we're going to learn one more method of writing equations, and that's the slope point form. Okay, and this is the sort of the formula here, or the format that it's in, and I'll go through that in a second. But let's do a quick review here. So the general form of the equation, remember the general form, um, you have to have some number a, and then your variable x, and then some number b, then your variable y, and then finally plus a constant, which is your third number, and all of that equals 0. So the key here again with the general form is that a, b, and c have to be there have to be whole numbers. They can't be fractions, and the a has to be a positive number. So then everything is on one side and 0 is on the other side. Slope y-intercept form is y equals mx plus b, and the key to this one is that it gives away the slope and the y-intercept. Okay, so I would like everybody now to just take a few minutes here and go through this investigation for this third method we're going to use today, slope point form, as it will hopefully help you visualize the equation on the graph. Okay, so go ahead and do that right now. I'll let you do that on your own, and I'm going to jump right in into the equation. So go through all of this here, and I'm going to jump right down here to the equation itself and give you my best interpretation of how I look at it. All right, so the format is, as you've seen already, is y minus y1 equals m, and then in bracket x minus x1. So the first thing you're going to notice is that the m here, that's the slope. Okay, we already know that from our y-intercept form. And then the other key piece of information is that this y1 here, y1 and x1 can be any coordinates. Okay, so the obvious benefit of this method is that as long as you're given a coordinate and the slope, you can come up with the equation of the line. So where the y-intercept method was limited to only the y-intercept and the slope, this method here, you can have any point. Okay, and it says down here, I just want to make a special note here, that in higher grade math courses, this is the method that you're going to see more often. Okay, so let's just get to a few examples here down below. So hopefully you've done the investigation and you kind of have an idea of what's going on here. So these should be pretty straightforward. Okay, so state the equation in slope point form of the line through the given point with the given slope. So this is our coordinate. This is our slope. So here's how we're going to do this. Okay, again, we're going to go y minus, and then I'm going to look at my y coordinate, which is 5, equals the slope x minus your x coordinate, which is 6. Okay, so again, just it's pretty straightforward. Once you've kind of memorized, you do need to memorize this format, and once you memorize it, it's pretty straightforward. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at this this next one over here. Again, always y, and an easy place to make a mistake is to confuse your x and y coordinates. So you might as well go ahead and label this as y1, x1. So we're going to go y minus y1. So it's going to be y minus negative 1. Well, that's just going to turn into a positive 1, equals slope. Slope is negative 4. and then it's going to be x minus 1. Okay, x minus 1. All right, not really sure what's going on with my pen here. Hopefully you can follow along. All right, let's go ahead here. Let's do this last one here. So y minus -8, that's the y coordinate. So y plus 8 equals the slope x minus your x coordinate. So x minus -9, or just x plus 9. All right, so that's just the formula, and just, you're pretty much just plugging in numbers into your formula. So as long as you memorize this formula, you'll be good to go here. And again, I repeat, the benefit of this formula is that, look at this. I'm given any point and a slope, and I can have my equation. Okay, you can't do that with the other two forms that we've seen. Okay, all right. So in each case, the slope of a line and a point on the line are given. So we're given the slope and a point. Determine the equation of the line in slope y-intercept forms. Okay, so now I have to finish off with, once I get my equation in point slope form, I need to go back into the y-intercept form. All right, so you're gonna have to do some algebraic manipulation. All right, let's go ahead and do our equation first. So y minus 2, there's my y coordinate, equals the slope, which is 5, x minus -5, which is x plus 5. Okay, well, remember, the y-intercept form, I need the y by itself on one side and everything else on the other side. So I'm going to go ahead and do that first. Get everything over there, get that 2 over there. So it's going to be 5x plus 5 plus 2. And then I have to distribute this 5 here because I'm not allowed to have any brackets, as you can see in the y-intercept form. So it's going to be 5x plus 25 plus 2, and then finally, I guess I could have done that in my head, that last step. It's going to be 5x plus 27. Okay, 27. My pen's acting a little funny today. Okay, let's do the second one here. Do it in black. Y minus 4, there's the y coordinate, equals the slope x minus the x coordinate. So x plus 3, because of the double negative. All right, I'm first going to distribute. That might save me a step here. -7x minus 21, and then add 4 to both sides. I get -7x minus 17. Okay. All right. Okay, this next example is kind of interesting. Let's look at it. So we have two people, John and Nikki, are solving the following quiz question. Determine the equation in general form of the line with a slope of -2 passing through the point 3, -5. Okay, so we have to put it into general form. Since John could only remember the slope, the y-intercept form, okay, which is y equals mx plus b, but Nikki remembered the slope point form, okay, and it says complete their work, which is started below. Okay, so let's go ahead and do this. John's work. So what did John do? So what John did, he went y equals mx plus b, and he doesn't know the slope, which is the m, but he doesn't know the b. So how does he solve for b? Well, he uses this piece of information here, and he substitutes those coordinates for his x and for his y. Okay, so and then he solves for b. So once he gets b, then he'll be able to get it into general form. So let's go ahead and finish John's work here. So let's solve for b. So -5 equals -6 plus b. B equals 1. And now once I get b, I have to go back into the original equation, y equals mx plus b. And the m again is the same, -2. There's the m. X and then plus 1. Okay, now I have to get it all into general form. So I'm going to move everything. Remember, general form, everything has to equal 0. So I'm going to move these two things over here, and I get 2x. Remember, always the x variable first, plus y minus 1. All right. Good. Now, let's look at what Nikki did. Okay, Nikki used the slope point form, and she went straight into the form using obviously the same coordinate and the same slope. There's the slope, there's the coordinate. Let's go ahead and finish her work. Let's use black for her. So we have y plus 5 equals negative 2x plus 6. Distribute that. And then I'm going to go ahead and move move everything over, because I need to get 0 on this side. Okay, so it's going to be 2x plus y plus 5 minus 6. I'm running out of space here. And then finally 2x plus y minus 1 equals 0. Okay, well, the good thing is that I know I'm correct, because, unless I'm wrong twice, but I'm pretty sure I got this one correct because my equations match up. But again, there's the point here is that you can do this several different methods. Nikki's way might be a little bit faster, just because we can go directly into the equation here. Okay. All right, let's keep rolling. All right, so the line. Let's look at some visual graphs now. This is the line. Here's my line. Okay. On the grid passes through at least 2 points with integer coordinates. Integer meaning, the lattice points. Okay, so you can't have decimals. Determine the equation of the line. Again, so all I need is the slope, because the slope point form. So as long as I get the slope and any point, I can get my equation. No problem, right? Well, let's get the slope. All right, so let me first write out this. So y minus y1 equals mx minus x1. All right, let me get the slope here. How do I get the slope? Well, slope equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, or I can just count on the grid here. So let me just find 2 good points. Again, be careful here not to pick up a point like this over here, because that doesn't go through the lattice points. That's not an integer coordinate. So let me go ahead and find an integer coordinate, and I'm seeing that this might be a good integer coordinate here, and I need another one obviously, and I might just pick that one over here. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and use the old-fashioned method of doing this question, and that's just, oh my goodness, okay, that's just counting my rise over run, which is 1, 2, 3. So my slope is going to be 3 over 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, and of course it's going to be negative because the line is dropping. All right, and now I have to pick a point, any point, to complete my equation here. Okay, so which point am I going to pick? Well, guess what? You can pick any of these 2 points that I've already picked for the slope. So let's go ahead and let's choose this one over here. And what is that coordinate? That's going to be 2, negative 6. So then finally my equation is going to be y minus negative 6, or y plus 6 equals, oh, I already have the equal sign, equals, and then the slope, which I calculated, and then x minus 2, okay? And then what's the final says here? I need this into the general form, determine the equation of line in general form. Okay, so I have to do a bit of work now to get it into general form. All right, to get into general form, again, I can't have any fractions, so I'm going to go ahead and multiply everything by 4. Use a different color for that. 4, 4, 4, and then I get 4y plus 24 equals negative 3x minus 2. 4y plus 24 equals negative 3x plus 6. Finally, I get everything to one side over here. I'm going to get 3x plus 4y, and then 24 minus 6 is 18, so plus 18. All right, and again, I could have gotten I could have used this coordinate over here, and I would have ended up with the same equation in general form, that is. Okay, so double check that if you want to make sure that you're going to get the same equation. All right, let's keep going. Okay, we're almost done here, so let's go ahead and do a few more examples. So in each case, state the slope of the line and write the coordinates of a point on the line. All right, so this is just reading straight off the graph. So m is my slope, and that is 1/7. And then a point, I'm just going to write the coordinates here, are always the x first, so that's going to be 4, comma, -11. Be careful with this, right? Even though it says 11, because the formula says y minus y1, in order to get a positive 11, my coordinate would have had to have been -11. So just be careful with that. All right, slope equals -5/3. Slope's pretty easy. You just read it off the graph there. And my point is going to be 7, 9. Okay, and then here my slope is -3 or -3/1, whichever you prefer. And my y coordinate is going to be, let me give myself some space here. No, my y coordinate. My coordinate, my point, is going to be, x is going to be 6, 0, because it's y and there's nothing there. So y plus or minus 0. So that one's an important one. Don't get thrown off by that one. And then finally, I have slope is -3. And actually, I made a mistake. Be careful, because I need my bracket here. So let me go ahead and do it over here. I first need to factor out that -3 to get x plus 2, and only then can I go ahead and complete my slope. So my slope is indeed -3. However, my point is going to be -2, 0 for the y coordinate. Just be careful with that. If you don't have a bracket, you need to factor out the 3 to get a bracket. Okay, thanks for watching, guys, and make sure you do that investigative task to help you solidify the concept of slope point form. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.